So today is, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 6 days out from Nationals. Feeling okay. As of yesterday, I don't know if it was because of my body being overworked, but I've been getting some immense pain in the corner right in here of my elbow, and then a little bit on the left arm on the exterior of the bicep. So if you guys know anything about that, if you know I don't really need to know what caused it so much, but if you know maybe a recovery strategy, I think as of right now, leading up till Nationals, I'm done working out. I was going to film a workout tonight. It was going to be the official last arm wrestling workout I was going to do here at my local gym. I was going to go extremely lightweight. However, after the pain in my arm, I'm extremely unsure if I should or not. Part of me wants to do it just to get blood flow, and the other part of me is just so scared with Nationals 6 days away. I might hurt myself. We will see what happens. But as of now, the rice bag is hoping to do the trick for the rest of the week. I'm also supposed to be getting a haircut tomorrow. I finally had it booked in. I thought it was today, and it was originally scheduled for Wednesday, and then it got canceled. However, after speaking with the guy who cuts my hair, it's looking like tomorrow we're doing it. So I might get a little bit of a makeover before I leave for Nationals, which will be a little bit of a surprise to me. And if there's anyone who spots me, make sure to not be looking for a guy with long, wacky hair. I would think that it would probably be a little bit more appropriate, a little bit more cleaner. But yeah, so there was one. I was on YouTube scrolling this morning, and something came up in my mind. And it is, could we see a rematch between Travis Bagent and Devon Larratt? Now, as you guys know, I am maybe you guys probably don't know, but I'm a huge Travis fan. I'm a Devon fan as well. More just because he's somewhat of an ambassador to the sport, or has been, I guess, for, I would say, a very long time. I mean, everyone who thinks of arm wrestling, I would think the first person they think of is Devon Larratt. So Devon Larratt and Travis Bagent, now these guys go way back. And I think it was, 2024? Was this like 2024? Was this like 2017 or 2018? When was it that, I think their last match was in Arm Wars. And it was a right-handed match, I believe. Doesn't matter. I still want to see this. So I was thinking, I'm like, sheesh, what if we saw a rematch between Devon and Travis? How likely is it to happen? I know last year they had, I wouldn't call it a practice pull, but they had gripped up at the table. And this was right before Travis had officially come back. And obviously at the time, Devon was much bigger. I mean, you can clearly see in the footage, Devon was much bigger. I'm gonna slap this bag up here. So, I hope I don't break anything. You're probably wondering, why am I doing that? It's more just for the angle. Yeah, I don't like that. So yeah, that got me thinking, what if we saw Devon and Travis compete again, and who would win? Well, as of right now, I think it would be more intriguing to see left-hand Travis versus left-hand Devon. right off the bat, I from what I'm seeing, I think Devon gets smoked. And that's just because he's finally coming down from a massive weight. I'm gonna weigh myself after this, but I should be sitting close to 215. Devon is like 230 pounds. So Devon Larratt, as of right now, is essentially 15 pounds heavier than I am. And I'm not really a big guy. Relatively speaking to someone who's maybe 180 pounds. Yeah. But relatively speaking, I'm not really that much of I'm not a big guy. Devon is not that much bigger than me. Now, obviously, his genetics, based off his career of arm wrestling, he's a little bit more genetically gifted, but also is much stronger in the upper body. And that's all just to say that he's bigger upper body than lower body. Anyways, it's a little bit irrelevant. However, to see the possibility of him and Travis go, it could be a wild King of the Table event. It could be a Challenger Series event. And just Devon knowing that he'd have to go up against Travis with the history these guys have, because it's a friendly but competitive rivalry. I mean, I still think at the end of the day, Travis wins. And maybe it would force Devon to work on his left much more than he has been. But as you guys see in practice videos, even Devon has admitted it on his YouTube channel, that he's finally losing in practice. There's no more of him running through 50 guys and almost like putting himself in a very weak position. So now that Devon's actually losing and he's much lighter, to have that winning, well, he has a winning mentality, but to have that winning goal in mind against someone he has a lot of history with. And when they fought in Arm Wars, Devon actually beat Travis 3-2. And I'm pretty sure during that match, which happened in Vegas, Arm Wars, I think it was in the later, I'll look it up, but I think it's like 2016, 2017, 2018, somewhere there, where they had competed in Vegas. And I think Travis was up. I know he's up 1-0 to start. He might have even been up 2-0, and then Devon had come back. And Travis was top rolling him. Well, top roll. Travis's crazy side pressure, high hand, caught Devon a couple times, and then eventually Devon figured out if he can get the match to a hook, he wins. And then he barely beat Travis to win that. And then obviously history goes back even further. They arm wrestled a ton. But yeah, besides rambling on, I do think it would be extremely interesting to see Devon and Travis. Now I know Travis has a matchup coming up against, you know what, I don't even want to butcher the name. Let's do, I know it's Kalinachenko. Do you say it? I'm going to look it up. Kalinachenko. Okay. So yeah, Travis has a match coming up against Tim at East versus West 13, which I don't know if I see Travis winning, because Kalinachenko is an absolute beast, very, very strong, and the amount of horsepower he has. So I could see Travis coming into a possible loss. But to get to the point I've been essentially butchering here, Devon and Travis. And the other part of me too makes me wonder, what if we could convince Devon, or if we could get Devon to redo some of his lifts that he had done back in the day. Now obviously Devon, at least from what we all believe and what we see and what he thinks, Devon is a stronger arm wrestler than he was then. But I don't know if it necessarily means stronger by the lifts he was doing then. Maybe leading up to the match for Levon. He was on a completely different level. But if you guys remember the dumbbell lift Devon had done, I think it was 200 pounds. I think it was 200 pounds where it was like an isolated hook. I want to see Devon do that right now. Because if he is a legit, much stronger arm wrestler than he was then technically speaking, he shouldn't have any issue doing it. And looking at his weight now versus then, it's probably about the same. Yeah. Would be, oh, my wrist. It would be something pretty wild. So the Nationals coming up in 6 days. I'm going to weigh myself right now. But I've had this mentality since I even considered going to Nationals of just gain as much weight as possible and then show up to Nationals and try to compete in the heaviest weight category. Because part of me wants to have that ego of like, I went into the heaviest category because that's my natural weight, which it's not, as I've stated many times. But then the other part of me is, I'm probably not going to be able to make it to Nationals next year because I'm leaving. I'm leaving for a significant amount of time from the country. And if I don't get the chance next year, that means I'd have the chance of going the year after. Saying that, if I don't go next year and I go the year after, that's a 2-year gap of me not going. And if I do not perform well at all, and I'm not expecting to win Nationals this year. However, I'm expecting to get a couple wins. But if I go into the heaviest weight category and I cannot win a match, I feel like I'm putting myself down there. But I'm not. I'm just speaking of reality. If I cannot win one match, then that'd be a long 2 years of, I don't know if I would necessarily regret it, but a long 2 years of me telling myself I should have probably cut weight a little bit. And that's kind of the issue that we run into. It's this domino effect, right? You get a guy who weighs X amount of weight, and if he cuts 2 or 3 weight classes down, technically speaking, a bigger guy competing in a lower weight class gives him the advantage. Depending on the time frame, depending on how much he's cutting, it could obviously have an effect on his performance. And this is speaking from any sport, from MMA, boxing, arm wrestling. But if you're a guy who weighs, let's just use an example. You're a guy who weighs 250 pounds, and you want to make the weight class of 220 pounds. You have all this weight on you, and in about 2 days away, you cut down 30 pounds. It's a lot of weight in 2 days. But you tell yourself you're going to go into a weight class of 30 pounds lighter. You're going to cut it by, I don't know, not eating food or not having any water. You go to weigh in. Let's just say we're going to use like more of an extreme case, just for shits and giggles. But you cut down all that weight. You make the scale. You barely make it. You are then super hungry. You feel weak. Everything hurts on you. Your joints, I don't know. Maybe I'm just over-exaggerating. Let's just say you're just beat up. And then you have 24 hours or 12 hours to get back to your original weight or get close and then compete. Do you actually have an advantage? Or are you just missing out on some potential of strength because you decided to spend the previous 24 to 12 hours suffering? I don't know, man. It's kind of controversial. So now the problem I'm running into a little bit is, well, at Nationals, what's kind of nice in a way, and I know it's by kilos, so it's not the same as pounds, but the weight classes are they go in sets of 5 kilos in increments. So example, 80 kilos would be one class, 85 kilos the next, 90, 95, 100, 110. Based off what I'm about to weigh, maybe the day before I weigh in, maybe I just try and make the weight class right under me. Let's say that I weigh in at I'm gonna find out. Let's say right now I weigh in at 100 kilos on the dot, and my tournament is in 2 days. Do I just cut my creatine and stop drinking water and make the 95 kilo class, and then hopefully blast creatine and drink a shit ton of water as soon as I weigh in? Am I gonna feel just as strong? Is it gonna make that much of a difference? I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm running into. I gotta figure it out. And now with my arms hurting, with my inner elbow, which I'm trying to fix as right now, kind of makes me less tempted to want to be in a higher weight class. No, I don't. Like, I feel like I'm not gonna try to jump 2, 3, 4 weight classes to go down. But I feel like depending on where my weight is at, I might just last minute try and make the one right under me, just to have a little bit more of a chance. And regardless of if I stay in the higher weight class or I go in one under, it's still going to be just as competitive, just as difficult. If anything, there might be even more competitors because there are less bigger guys than bigger guys, if you know what I'm saying. Yep, but I'm going to end it there. Arms don't feel as bad right now. If you guys have made it this far, let me know if you enjoy these types of videos. They're simple, they're easy, and you get to listen to an idiot like me talk for X amount of time, and sometimes see an appearance from Bibi Manjika. My little cat. Yeah. Anyways, ouch, my knee. I'll see you guys later.